Hello and good day to you, Dr. Irene. This is a presentation from Group 4 about Assignment 3, Part B. So, let's get started. What you will hear from us today is the introduction about the teaching video, two examples of each mode, managerial skill and system, classroom context, and materials. We will be explaining about both promoting and hindering the lesson while mentioning its instructional features. Last but not least, we will then explain to you what we have concluded based on our finding. Now, Group 4 has 5 excellent members. Nurul Aina Nabilah binti Osman, Mi Siti Aisyah binti Nur Azlan, Abdul Muhaimin bin Johari, Rasitra anak Propa Ravichandran, and Zainul Arifin bin Ismail. The video that we have chosen is titled "Visp for English Language Classroom Stories Tell Many a Thing." Mind you, the teacher and the students are from New Delhi, so their accent is not based on our Malaysian Standard English nor the British. The teacher did a lesson about a story called The Camel and the Cunning Fox. Students are supposed to listen before later they have to tell the same story exactly to their friends. There are about 30 primary students in the classroom and their sitting is based on teacher-centered learning.
Assalamualaikum, I'll be to Dr. Irene. So I will present about managerial mode promoting. Throughout the whole lesson, we noticed that the teacher used a lot of confirmation checks. He gave a lot of display question towards his students so that he knows whether the students understand or remember about the lesson that they have learned. So, for example, like here we call him the king of the forest. The teacher tried to make sure that students remember who the king of the forest is supposed to be by affirming it once again. And second, the teachers also use a lot of transitional markers. For example, like so, okay, then, and also now. So usually transitional makers is used to move on from one topic to another. So in this case, the teacher used the transitional makers to prolong the activity by giving them something to discuss or look upon to. And in some cases, he used transitional makers uh, to gain the students' attention back because sometimes they can get astray from the actual lesson. So I will be passing the presentation to the next presenter.
Now, I will be talking about two of the most obvious examples of managerial mode that hindered the lesson for us, which are the use of transitional markers so and the teacher's instruction to use Hindi first before English. First of all, the word so should hold a meaning of transition between the lessons from this stage to the next. But the teacher had used a lot of unnecessary so that it has lost its functionality. Then he instructs the students to use their first language, Hindi. That comment not only relieves them from the importance in speaking in English, but also leads them to think that, oh, we are allowed to speak in Hindi. I think most of us understand that these young students then will just continue the lesson in Hindi instead of English. Hence why we think it hinders the lesson. Next, I will pass to my friend Aina.
Okay, so here are some prominent examples that promote in skill and system. So the first one is teacher echo. In this example, teacher is repeating a learner's contribution, which is lion is very big, as the student's voice is very soft, and it promotes their learning because the teacher use echoing to help other students hear what the first student said and to promote communication between students and teachers. And the second one is the use of scaffolding. For this one, teacher extends a learner's contribution in the dialogue King of the Forest. The students only answer King, but the teacher extended it to King of the Forest. It is promoting students' learning because scaffolding helps to assist learners to express themselves and acquire new language with more accurate answer according to the teacher. Okay, so next is the example that prominent in hindering in skill and system. So the first one is teacher echo. For this case, teacher is answering strong in unison with the students. In this case, it can hinder with students' learning because it does not help encouraging them to speak up or communicate more among themselves. Instead, teacher repeating the same word over and over again can make students feel that it is the only answer for that question, and they do not have any other options of answers, so they should not be bothered to answer the question. And the second one is extended teacher turns. For this one, the repetition of lion got fever, lion fell sick, and he was suffering from fever may hinder students' learning because the paraphrasing is repeated in one same moment, and it may be confusing to some students. Not all students are familiar with those words, so any short changes in that statement can make the students um, confused which sentence is correct and which one is wrong. And being repeatedly told may also disturb their thoughts, this hindering the lesson.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and it is a good day to Dr. Ivy. I am Abdul Muhammad bin Johari. We'll be presenting about the mode classroom context on promoting and hindering students' learning. The first one, referential questions. Referential questions that we got from the video are the teachers asking the students on what does a lion do, what does the fox do, what else is the lion known for, and what is the quality of the fox. These referential questions lead to more knowledge, and these referential questions are open-ended questions. These trigger students' schemas or prior knowledge on a topic, and they can give any answers that they want as long as it is relevant, because there is no specifically right answer to the question. And but any irrelevant answers made by the students will be corrected by the teacher. The next one, clarification request. The teacher um, clarified about the context in the classroom by asking, do you like stories about animals? And he established the topic about animals in the classroom. And it is one way to check if the students is familiar with the topic. If the students are familiar with the topic, they can look forward to the lessons of the day. Moving on to the hindering the learners learning. The first one is scaffolding, is to guide the students based on their performance, and extended learners turns, which is giving them the opportunity to try. And the teacher try to apply this kind of interactional features by asking the question the fox is. Um, this is hindering the students' learning because the question is too vague and it has a lot of gray areas. And these is obvious that students may not answer the question because they do not know the question's intention. And probably they lose their focus on the topic because since they do not know about the question and they are not answering the question, they lose their focus in the end. The next one, content feedback. The teacher stated that camel lives in the desert. However, this information is not coherent with the story because he told the students that camel lives in the jungle. So this might make the students to question the story because how come the camel is in a jungle? Because camel lives in the desert. This is not coherent with the story. In the end, students will also lose the focus on the topic in a way that will hinder their learning. That is all from me. Thank you.
Okay, as for materials, there were two common features that helped to promote the lesson. The first one is the use of scaffolding. Okay, scaffolding is often used to extend students' contribution in the lesson. So, for instance, in that video, there's a section where the teacher would ask the students, "Where is the camel?" So, from that question, we could describe that the teacher is trying to expect students to point out the camel picture from the board in class. So we could clearly see from here that the teacher is trying to enhance promoting through the usage of scaffolding. Besides that, the teacher often uses extensive use of display questions because the teacher often asks questions to the students related to the story that he just explained like a few minutes ago. For example, he asked questions like, did the wolf love the camel? Did the camel go with them? And so on. So from here, we could see that the teacher is trying to use display questions to check students' understanding and elicit their responses. Okay, so now I will be explaining two of the common examples under materials that hindered our lesson. Okay, the first one was predominance of IRF, especially initiation. Okay, in the video, we could see that the teacher often asked questions to the kids. And then an example of question that he asked was, what is cleverness means? We believe that this sentence could be described as endearing because the teacher is asking a vague and general questions to the young students, which could lead minimum interactional space in this class. This is said because the audience in this class are primary students, and we believe that some of the students could not understand what cleverness was, as the language that was being taught to them was in their L2 and not their L1. Hence, this could affect their interactional between the teacher and students because they could not answer the question that was asked by their teacher. As for the second one was the use of scaffolding. So the sentence, so we have to somehow kill the camel, was an example of sentence that shows enduring occurs. This is said because the answer of the story was very obvious, but it could be considered too dark for the students. Hence, the class morale was low, thus it hindered their lesson.
In conclusion, from the lesson, we noticed that the teacher does not promote a lot of discussion among the students, but he did give a lot. He did give a lot of display question to make sure that the students remember what the lesson is. And moreover, he still makes sure that the students are focusing on the topic throughout the lesson, thus making management mode having the highest percentage out of the four modes, with 33.3%. Skill and system mode comes in second with 25.3%, classroom content mode with 21.3%, and lastly, material mode with 20%. So that's all from us. Thank you.